I have no idea why everyone doesn't dream big around retirement because honestly, I think it's the easiest thing to do. Let me show you. So this is a real financial plan of someone. Her name is Kristen. She's 54. She's a spouse who's 60 and 2 children. She wants to retire early. So once again, right now, 54 and 60, they're planning to retire at 58 and 63, and they want to spend $16,000 a month. But I would argue they didn't really plan well, and here's why. So they are projecting no healthcare cost. They are not talking about long-term care. They are not adding in college expenses. They're not adding new cars or vacations or weddings or downsizing or buying a second home or giving or all of these other things that would probably lead to an amazing retirement. Now, what some people do is they'll just put it all in one. For example, maybe they're thinking through all of this and that's the $16,000 a month number. And that's how their brain does it. If that's how their brain does it, that's okay, but I don't let my clients off the hook that easy. And the reason for that is if they say they're gonna spend $16,000 a month, it's not accurate. You don't spend $16,000 every single month. I work with people that only retire early before 65. They are spending more money when they have their energy and their health. Let's call it $20,000 a month in this example. Then it's $12,000 a month because they're not traveling to the same degree in their 70s, 80s. Then it shoots back up again when there's medical expenses or more giving or different things they want to do. So here's someone that says, I want to retire at 58 and 63. I have $16,000 a month as my retirement goal. I would want them to get way more granular and determine how often are we buying new cars? What about weddings for kids? What about you name it? And that's what leads to success when it comes to retirement planning. So to me, this is really easy, but I'm a financial planner and I love this stuff. A lot of people are like, I just need to keep it simple. And I'm pro simple, by the way. But a lot of people go, I'm just going to spend $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month, and that's going to be my plan. You could do that, but you're probably going to have something in the back of your head going, look, is that accurate? And what if I don't spend that every month? And then what happens is that creates what I call head trash, which is a phrase I talk about where people go, I think I can travel, but markets are down. So maybe that means I shouldn't travel. It's adding unnecessary anxiety. So now I'm going to show you how I would plan, and this is what I would do if I were you. So if you don't know, my name is Ari Taublieb. I'm a certified financial planner, host of the Early Retirement Podcast, and Chief Growth Officer here at Root, helping people make the most out of what they've worked so hard for. Let's hop in. Please know this should be not construed as one-on-one financial advice. This is for fun, educational, informative purposes only. But yes, I do hope it is informative so that you can make a good decision when it comes to your retirement. So you can see here that same $16,000 a month is what I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and I added a bunch of things. New cars every 10 years. I added college for both the kids. I added vacations. I added some long-term care estimates. The reason I do this is if you go into the retirement tab under comparisons, and I'm explaining it because a lot of you are in this software, and if you're not, in the description of this episode, you can see how to get this, is I can see what someone's on track for. So they have $4.7 million today. They're on track for $15 million at age 93. Maybe they don't want $15 million at 93. So what I want to do is I want to go put on all of their goals here. So everything is being reflected in the plan. You're not going to see the software change yet. It still says 15 million. But once again, this is assuming they're going to spend 16,000 every single month. Watch what happens if I switch this to 15,000. Well, it's going to show that they're going to have more money because they're spending less. The difference here is we need to then go up some other things. They're going to buy new cars at 60,000 a year. They're going to do vacations for the first 15 years at 40,000 a year. They're going to college is going to be 40,000 instead of 28,000. Just hypotheticals here. And I'm going to refresh that. And you're going to see it's going to show when I do that, there's certainly less money. I mean, look at this, 4 million fewer dollars. But this is 15,000 still as their base of income, 180,000 a year, with new cars every 10 years, with college, with vacations. So I'm getting more granular with them, which I think is going to help because when they retire, they're going to understand, okay, I'm in a good spot. I can buy the new cars and the kind of one-off things that are going to come up before I didn't even know how to plan for them. Now, the big thing here that is in their control is, okay, when are they going to retire? What if she stopped right now? What if her husband stopped right now? What does that do to their plan? Okay, well, what you're going to see is they're okay, but there's 8 million fewer dollars. Instead of 15 million at the end, there's 7 million. Maybe they have some big legacy goals of leaving 3 million to each child. I have no idea, just making an assumption. Maybe they want to die with zero. But they might go, wow, we want to die with zero. Can we spend $20,000 a month? Well, they absolutely can. You can see here, they'd be okay. They absolutely can, but they'd run out of money at 78. So they can, but they probably shouldn't. Now, let's assume we switch this to $18,000 a month. Are they in a good spot? It depends. Is it them trying to die with zero? Because here they're getting pretty close. And the last thing I want is for someone to underspend and go like this. Ooh, I'm only going to spend $10,000 a month, even if I know I could probably spend more. And so now they're going to be 80 with millions and millions of dollars, wishing that they spent more when they had their energy and their health. So the point here is don't cheat yourself. Don't just go, I'm going to spend $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month. That's just not realistic. Then play around with more scenarios like this. What if investments didn't do well? What if you said, I want more of a conservative approach. I want to plan on 4% growth throughout retirement. Well, that's going to make a big hit to the plan, 10 million fewer dollars, but you might sleep better. You might go like, I want the most aggressive portfolio because I'm a savvy investor and that doesn't cause me I'm not going to lose any sleep. Okay, well, they already had that in their original plan, so it's not showing a big difference here. What if they're like, you know what? It turns out that the most important thing to us is long-term care, and we want to plan for 5 years of long-term care at the end at $127,000 a year each. Okay, well, that's a lot. We need to plan for that, and you can see they're still okay. They could certainly do that. Now, what if they want to plan for that and spend $180,000 as a base? Well, what you can see is they're okay. There's a drop-off at the end, planning for long-term care, but that might be what's most important to them. So I'm encouraging all of you, just don't cheat yourself with this, I'm going to spend $2,000 a month or 5 or 10 or whatever your number is. It's not your number. It's going to be shifting throughout retirement. And when markets are doing well, you need to give yourself a raise. The way I'll explain it to clients is like a business owner. Let's assume you own a business and it's doing really well. You're probably going to hire more employees. You're probably going to try to maybe invest in the business, maybe in new equipment, so the business grows even further. Let's pretend your business is not doing well. You probably will not go hire new employees. You'll probably not go try to buy equipment. Well, in retirement, you're a business owner, just like that example. You own this portfolio. If your portfolio is doing well, you should be encouraging yourself. I'm going to give myself a raise. Business is doing well. When business is not doing well, when markets are down, you should probably not be giving yourself a raise or probably not be traveling extra. Those are times when we want to scale back. So I would encourage you to think about it in more of this guardrails, dynamic approach, which leads to way more success over a retirement. An example of that I'm going to show you lastly here. So this right now is on what's called inflation adjusted spending, which means you're spending alongside inflation. Meaning if your portfolio gets 10% and inflation is 3%, you're growing at 7% and you're spending a static amount every year based off what you tell the software. If you click retirement spending smile, that takes an average of people who retire, spend more when they have their energy and their health, then spends a little bit less, then spends more again, like a smile, which reflects an accurate retirement for most people, not everyone. Well, if I do that and I refresh it, it's going to show that there's actually less dollars. Before it said 12 million less, now it's showing 9 million less, because what happens is when markets are doing well, let's assume that happens when you're in your 70s or 80s, you're also probably spending less, which is allowing your portfolio to compound even more. So it's the same example I'll give when someone says, Ari, why should I do part-time income? It's just not going to help that much. And I go, give me an example. And they're like, well, I make $200K a year right now. Why would I possibly do anything that brings $30K a year in? And I'll say, you're thinking about it wrong. It's not the 30 coming in that's a big deal. It's 30 coming in means I don't need to send you 30 from your 4 million portfolio, which allows that to keep compounding, and that's the real value. And then they're like, oh, I get it now. So hopefully this was a helpful video going over how to think about this deeper. If it was, please like this video, share it with others you want to retire early with. I'll see you guys next time.